I'm again in the forest, and I noticed it's now the fifth day. Yesterday evening, when I come home, I looked myself naked in the mirror and I found about 5 ticks. Very, very small baby ones. I was very sorry I had to kill them. Yeah, but I love to be in the wild nature. And even if there are 20 ticks, I was once sleeping in a cave, and in the morning I had about 20 to 30 ticks on me, but it wouldn't stop me from going into wild nature. I will never give that up. I hope that I will never give it up to go in wild nature. No matter how many critters are wanting to participate from my blood. And anyway, if I were really, really gentle, I would let them suck. I would let a tick suck me and give her my blood until she had enough and would fall off, if I were a gentle person. But then on the other hand, if I were such highly cultivated, like chewing my food well, thinking nice thoughts, leading a harmonious life, then I wouldn't attract ticks. I'm quite certain. Also not mosquitoes. Not certain, but it's a theory, yeah. So, I'm again in the forest for the fifth day. I intend to spend at least 1 hour each day alone in nature. I'm trying to do that. I don't know how long I will need to record myself but then still I like to share the singing, and it greatly helps me to sing. So wapti bamba we alaya ho, especially singing with words recognized by human culture, or I mean by a certain human culture. So English is the language which is spoken most in the world. That's why I trained myself with this language, so that if any of my stuff is of any significance for anybody, then it should be easiest to understand, not to learn a special language for it. Yeah, whatever. So I'm again. So the ticks are not a problem, and I mean it's so beautiful everywhere I watch. I see silence and little movements of grasses. The wind is playing with the little bromberry saplings and little fir trees, and there are little flies going around. It's so beautiful. And then all the gentle tweeting and stuff. I think most people know that, and I can only recommend to spend time in the forest. Not only on the big pathways, but also to go a little bit aside the big pathways. I'm about 200 meters aside from the big pathways, and there is a space here which is 100 meters diameter, which no other person will come through. Eventually, another person to look for a path. But anyway, so I wanted to share something about, yeah. Yesterday I was going on about this drone and Mima, and I could write quite a bit of it down. That was quite interesting, because I tend now to quite like better speaking, but still from economic kind of value, writing is better, because writing doesn't take up so much space. It can be transferred easily. It can be stored very easily. For example, all the ascended stories I wrote down, which are at archive.org with the search word ascende to be found. Chronologically, one can see all the texts. One can compose them into, I don't know how many pages, about perhaps 300 pages. I would say about 300 pages. It's a good book. It's a good book. I don't know the quality of my writing. I would say the quality of my writing is 4 of 10. Yeah, I'm quite certain my writing qualities are not too high. And also, I don't care about a start and a build-up of a story and the culmination and the high point and then slowly building it down. No, I don't care about these things. I'm just writing as it flows. Perhaps when I'm 60 I can... but eventually I hope that with the Ascende, not only with the Ascende, but I hope that with technology and science progressing even faster these days, and artificial intelligence greatly improving, that in 20 years, maximum 30 years, the artificial intelligence will be at the same stage as a human being. And from then on, I would say it's unpredictable how fast it can go. But then, if the efforts are increased, if there is more finances, more billions of dollars going into artificial intelligence research, why not achieve this equity of machine intelligence and human intelligence in 10 years? Why not? I mean, what is holding us back? Of course, one might say society needs to prepare for this change. And I know it's not easy to think about, if one has a job which is valued by society, one has a certain respect from society for doing this job. It's not easy to think about a machine replacing this job, and one is being put out of this responsibility. But then I would say this is not a matter of basic income or not. Basic income can help us to make sure that nobody goes hungry, nobody is excluded from internet and from education and from having an apartment to be in as long as one wants. That's kind of basic income. But then the other thing, how to find respect from other people, not only through doing a service, but also through just being oneself. So I would suggest that people who are fearing of being replaced, their jobs being replaced by robots, that they start to ask themselves, what can I personally do beside the job? What do I like to do? Do I like to talk with elderly people? Do I like to teach children? Or do I like to garden? Do I like to help wilderness being guarded? I mean, there are so many possibilities to interact with society beside job. So yeah, I think it shouldn't be a problem if one really. So I would hope that these people in the middle management who are holding back at this moment with innovation, because they are fearing of being replaced, that they stop doing that. Yeah, please stop holding back. Please go for innovation. Please let the new technologies come into the game. Let's try to use the human intelligence and the machine intelligence. Let's try to use it for good. Let's replace all the work. Let's let's make sure that nobody has to stand up in the morning and has the pressure to go to work, but everybody has the possibility to wake up in the morning and say, hey, I want to go out in my garden and look after the plants I planted last week. Or, hey, I want to go into the wilderness and to make sure that nobody destroys this place. Or I want to go to the next kindergarten and play with the children and teach them a little bit. I mean, if the kindergarteners um, agree with that kind of visitors. Or I want to go to an elderly home and sing some songs with them, make some puzzle games, make some, I don't know, Sudoku, all kinds of games, play a poker, play a card game. There's so many things. Anyway, so I was so still, yeah. So I'm hoping I can, after all this talking, I can start singing again. Yes, I hope the next thing will be singing. So that was some dancing. I tried to be gentle on the moss, and yeah, I think I have done some movement and I can now continue. I walk around a bit to get out of the grip of the camera. Let's say this. I walk around a bit. I see all these colors, it's amazing. You see light brown, dark brown from the old leaves from last year, and you see the light green from the young leaf, and you see the moss shining in all colors. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm so happy, and I find animal poo, either from, I don't know, squirrels or deer or rabbits or mouses. Not so. I saw two mouses today. One came out of the hole and it showed itself to me and went back. It was nice. Oh no, it was sitting outside the hole when I came, and it waited a moment before it went in, and then it came out again. So it really wanted me to feel that it's not afraid of me. So that's nice. I think so. Yeah, if I'm quite sure that if humanity or if a human being is attentive to its surroundings, then it won't harm him. I read about a story where one person living in the wood was not at all because he was so gently nourishing itself. It only, like, I think it only, I don't know how much it add. I think this person didn't add so much. And only it would ask the bees for some honey if it needed to go somewhere. They were not stinging him because he asked, and he only took a little bit. So yeah, nice story. And I haven't lived in the wild for a long time. I just was camping and yeah, like sleeping 1 or 2 days in a year outside in the wild. So I can't say that from my own experience. But anyway, I'm happy today. I'm I'm starting to write perhaps soon. Although it's a bit, I'm, yeah, I feel a bit the limitations of a keyboard and of a touch screen. So I think talking and translating the talk into voice is also nice. So I think I will look forward to one day I can talk about the Ascende stories or the Ascende versions. I try always to make new versions, yeah. So not to stick with one version because I don't know how the future will happen. It's just I dream about the future, not in the night, but in the day. I try to think about it, how I would like it to be. Yeah, one day I might think, just dream about it also. In the last 4 days, I didn't watch too much TV, like half an hour, stuff from other people. So that helps. If I reduce greatly what other people do for art, then I can concentrate on my own art, of course. But a little bit is okay. I mean, yeah, I don't want to totally stop it, but I think half an hour, 1 hour, reading other stuff, watching videos or something, yeah, it could be okay. But still, if I'm totally concentrated, I think I would stop it altogether and camp out in the wood. Yeah, to be totally like 24 hours in the wood. So to totally be away from internet or from TV, that would help. I could write many more hours. I'm sure. I could write 10 pages a day. Quite sure. So now it's about 1 page a day. I can maximum, like 1,000 words. I think 1,000 words I can do a day. It's okay. I'm happy with that. But 5,000 words a day would be cool. So I could 5,000 a day would be cool. So I could how I think in 2 weeks I could create a new book. So during the summer I could create about 4 books. That would be cool. I would like that. If I only create one book, that's quite good enough. I did that in 2016. No, 14. Yeah, 14. In 16 and 15 I only did small things. But in 14 I could really write 2 storylines with erotics in it. That was really, really nice. I liked that. I really liked that. It's sometimes a bit strong erotics, but it's not. The erotics is only the side thing. You know, the main is the story. The erotics. So I don't know if I want. Yeah, I don't think the erotics is needed so much. So in this story I'm writing now. There's a little bit erotics in it, but only like mentioning it, not really going into the things. Not really going into details. That's perhaps better. So I can concentrate on technology and on the political situation. For example, I called it now the abundance sectors, where I really want to talk about is places all over the globe where people decide locally with the kind of blockchain technology what kind of behavior they would like to live in. So, if they want foreigners or not, then if they want foreigners, how many? How many percentage of the population can be people not born in this culture, on this local area? Is it 50%? Is it 20%? Is it 60%? I don't know. I personally think it doesn't need a percentage. It needs just a availability of space. For example, the the, the local community can assess how much space is do we want to reserve for wildlife, and how much space we want to build on, and how big should our community become. So one can, for example, build very intensely a skyscraper or down into the ground, 100 meters, I don't know, if it's no earthquake zone. So one can build, for example, a community with 5,000 people can build living space for another 5,000 people, for example. So the local people are prepared to take up in an emergency another half, like the same amount of people they are. Yeah, so that would be, I think, sensible to build always 2 homes for 1 person. So there is enough changing, there is enough room for changing. So yeah, I hear people coming. No, they are not coming here, but they are like, oh, they are like 50 meters away. Okay, I think they are there. Oh yeah, they are 100 meters away, but they're talking. That's why it makes louder. Anyway, so we are at the local community which decides to build double the amount of apartments, perhaps in advance. Why not? And then keep a little space, or yeah, not too big space for people who don't want to live in high houses, like don't want to live on the 10th floor or something, or people who can't, yeah, who just need a house